Have you ever been just chilling in Minecraft, just exploring and seeing what you can find, checking out the scenery until you randomly get the idea to build an extremely over the top build? Well, that's what happened in this video. Now, if you've seen my other build videos, you'd know that I don't really plan anything, more just build until I get the ideas later on. So make sure you stick around till the end of the video to see what happens. Before we get going on the build, my name is Ghostlyy, and if you enjoy the video or my other videos, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and as always, if you have any ideas or feedback, throw it down in the comments below. So with the location already scouted out, I wanted to make a kind of in-ground coliseum, and if that doesn't make any sense just yet, you'll see what I mean later on. By using World Edit, I messed around with a few sizes of a circle until I was happy. Changed it to glowstone to help me visualize it a bit better and began to clear out the entire area within the circle itself. Now, I am using World Edit for this build, but as you can see, I'm still a complete noob, meaning I only know about 3 commands. So if you see me hand mining, it's because I'm completely clueless. I set some trees on fire that were within the circle and sat back trying to think of what I could actually have at the center of this giant structure. But with no luck on the ideas, it was time to carve the circle all the way down to bedrock and clean up the edges so I wouldn't have to worry about this later on. Changing the walls to stone bricks and bringing them down to roughly the same level, and now had a pretty good hole in the ground. And that's where the idea came to me. What about a multi-dimensional end portal that's just way over the top? Using the same circle command as earlier, I marked out roughly where I wanted the different tiers or levels to be as we went deeper underground. And then, from realizing the actual scale of this build, I watched a basic World Edit tutorial and learned the power of the stacking command, which would speed up the process by 100%. With the second layer being solid, I wanted to give it a bit more depth rather than just a boring wall that goes all the way down to the bottom. So by using the same 3 commands as earlier, I carved out this kind of balcony that would house one of the 3 dimensions, and eventually turned that into stone bricks as well. And I gotta say that this stacking trick is a lifesaver, or at least it was until I opened up a portal into the back rooms. To give the top layer some character and a bit more detail, I stripped out 2 layers and worked on these light panels, which would be a reoccurring style throughout the build, and turns out they look 10 times better at night as well. So I repeated the same pattern on each of the 4 sides to keep things in line. So for the top layer of the build, I wanted to go for a classic overworld Minecraft vibe, having a ring of grass that I could then build on with smaller decorative blocks to help sell the effect later on. You can probably tell what the second layer is going to be from this alone. With the bottom of the build still looking like a nuke had gone off, it was time to finally clear it out. Using some masking commands with the World Edit tool, I was able to get rid of a good amount before noticing that because I have a mod that brings in features from the newer Minecraft into this version, World Edit has no idea what this is. So I stacked up the final circle and then got to hand mining the rest of it, getting it all down to the same level as bedrock. And luckily for me, it was surrounded by a giant magma chamber. Once I was getting close to having the whole thing smoothed over, I tried a World Edit command to see if it would help, and this is what I mean when I say I'm a noob at World Edit. So I kept things pretty simple from this point onwards, filling the bottom layer of the build with redstone blocks and then throwing on the same lanterns we used previously on top of that, and of course some purple carpet on top of that as a final layer. And this is where I completely forgot about the lava that was piling up just behind these stone walls. So to ignore that, I hopped onto the second layer and carried over the same lighting design as above. Gave the top layer a halo all the way around and then threw on some bone meal to give it a bit more life. For the bottom, I wanted to go for a really cool purple fog effect that you've probably seen in a few other videos. This would give the bottom of the build a void type of effect. And I don't really know why I haven't used this trick more often, because the end result is actually really cool. With the void being completed, I moved on to the nether type area, and thought rather than having it within the borders like the overworld layout, why not play into the nether style and create this overlapping and overtaken kind of vibe. Using lava buckets, I filled in a small circular trench that would go all the way around and gave it a backdrop using the World Edit command to help it achieve that sharp and choppy style that we see in this dimension. And from the right angle, you couldn't really tell the difference that I was in the overworld here. The second layer being pretty much finished, I replaced all of the stone bricks underneath with end stone bricks to fit the theme and gave it some basic detailing with some purple blocks that we see all over the end seas. And I gotta say, this is looking pretty good from not having a single clue at the beginning of the video. If you haven't tried this yet, definitely give it a go as you may be shocked with what you end up with. The final part was to work on the platform right at the bottom, detailing it with some more purple and end related blocks, throwing in some chorus fruit trees and using end rods suspended in the air to sell the enchanted atmosphere. And this is where I realised that portals don't work this way. Thankfully this is creative and not hardcore, which I am starting up pretty soon, so if you guys would like to see a hardcore series, let me know in the comments down below. I planted some more trees on the top layer to fill up the space around the build, and gave it some vines made from oak leaves, and was ready to call this build finished. So there we have it, probably one of my favourite builds of all time, and just seeing where creativity can take you when you're completely clueless. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a like and let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll catch you all for more of this chaos in the future. Bye!